Hey everybody! Today, Rahdo runs through 5 Tribes, which was one of the big hit games of Gen Con 2014. Very, very popular. A lot of people very excited about this game, and I am lucky enough to have gotten one of the few copies that was for sale at the show. Thanks again to Rhiannon of the Spooning Meeples. There's a link to their show. Check out the Spooning Meeples. They are awesome, and not only because Rhiannon got there early enough to be able to get me one of the 50 copies they were selling every day. Otherwise, I would not have this to run through today. So everybody, in unison, 3, 2, 1, thanks, Rhiannon. And that was not, that sounded kind of sarcastic, but genuine thank you very much, Rhiannon, for getting down there and picking me up a copy of this, because otherwise I would not have been able to run through it today. But enough about all that business. Let's stop talking about running through it, and let's start running through it. So, now, this game is set in the Tales of Arabian Nights, 1001 Tales of Arabian Nights milieu, and the mythical city of Nagala there. Actually, the subtitle, 5 Tribes, the Jinns of Nagala. Although Jinns is really genies, so in this game, you are actually, what you're trying to do is reunite the 5 tribes of this city of Nagala that are represented by 5 different colored meeples. There's the assassins, and the viziers, and the merchants, and the elders, and the builders. So there's these 5 different groups of people, and we are trying to reunite them, and whoever does that best and gains control of the city wins the game. Although another way to put it is whoever has the most money at the end of the game is the winner. And then along the way, we are also going to be recruiting the help of genies, or jinns as they're originally called, evil, nasty demon spirits that will help us in various and sundry ways if we make sacrifices to worship them. Okay, and along the way we will also be collecting resources that we can trade in for lots and lots of money also. Okay, enough. All right, so the game is set up with basically all these land tiles are put out in a completely random 5x6 grid, as I've already done, and then the game comes with a bag that you use to pull random clumps of 3 tribesmen and put them, these little clumps of 3, onto all the different tiles, totally randomly. As you can see, a lot of places, there's 2 guys and 1 guy. This one's actually very attractive. There's 3 guys sitting over here, all elders, the 3 whites. And let's see, and then there's, but plenty of places where there's just 1 of each type. And now what we're going to be doing every turn is, well, I'll talk about that in a second, because actually there's a little bit more that we have to do first. The game, everybody in this game gets a really beautiful, lovely, very thorough player, or a turn order sheet that pretty much reminds you of everything you need to know. And on the back side of it is a summary of what every genie in the game does, which is good because they're all iconic over here, and this is kind of handy to have as a reference for what's that genie do? What does that genie do? But as you can see, on a game turn, the first thing that's going to happen is we are going to bid for turn order. There's an auction that happens at the beginning of every round. So, I'm playing a 2-player game today. I am the pink player, Jen is the blue player. By the way, in case you don't like pink or blue, too bad. If you want to play 2-player, those are the colors you have to choose, because it's really weird. I have no idea why. Days of Wonder did not include enough resources so that you could play as any of the 4 colors. If you want to play 2-player, you must play green and blue. Or I'm sorry, blue and pink. So today I will be pink. And since randomly I slap these things down, I am first in bidding order, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to make the first bid on turn order, because in this round, I'm going to do 2 actions and Jen is going to do 2 actions. With more players, everybody only gets 1 action per round. You'd have to imagine that there's in a 3-player game there's 3 different colors, in a 4-player game there's 4 different colors. But in a 2-player game, each player gets 2 actions per round. So I'm the first to bid, and over here is the bid track. I can bid anywhere from $0 all the way up to $18 to determine player order. And so I got to decide, how much money do I want to pay to go first? Because going first in this game is always valuable. There is always something of very, very great value you can grab on the board. So, bidding can be tight. Now, at the beginning of the game, everybody starts with $50. And it's all kept face down because you're supposed to keep your money secret. Although both Jen and I have $50 right now. So I got $50 to bid. And looking at the board, this is really lucky that 3 elders happen to have popped up on a very, very high value tile, this 12-point tile. And they're elders, which means they're really, really good for the, this is a genie tile as well, where you can sacrifice elders or slaves, you know, either elders or a combination of elders and slaves to get the favor of the genie. So this is a very, very nice tile. That's crazy lucky. It's worth 12 points. I think I definitely want to go first because I want to grab that. That is too, so, but then I got to ask how much am I going to bid? Now, I could go on ahead and bid 12 because at the end of the game, every buck you have is worth a point. So I've got 50, I'm sitting on 50 points right now. If I bid $12 or 12 points to get this, and I'm gonna get 12 points back, I can't imagine Jen is gonna raise me to go up to 18, because that would just be silly, pay an additional 6 to basically take a loss. But you know, that's the thing, as long, if I bid 8 or 12, I'm gonna do better than break even. But if you go up to 18, so do I wanna guarantee that I get that space by going up to 12 because I can't imagine Jen will raise me up, or do I want to take a chance? Because she, you know what, if I'm willing to bid 12, I bet you she would too. So I'm just going to go straight to 12 because that is so nice. And so that's my opening bid. I got to pay 12 bucks for that. So here goes 10, 15, and I get 3 back. Alrighty, there we go. So that's my opening bid. And unless Jen goes crazy and bids 18, I'm sure I've got it. Now, Jen, because of how these are randomly laid out here, Jen gets to make 2 bids back to back. Let's see, and now she knows I've just paid a ton of money. I think she's gonna go the opposite way. She's gonna try to be very, very frugal. So she is going to bid $1 and $0. All right. Now she could bid nothing at all. Her first bid could be 0, and then her second bid could be 0 as well, and it would push this first one down, and she could bid absolutely nothing, but what the heck, she's going to pay a little bit. She'll pay $1, and what she's hoping is, well, it's very, very powerful in the 2-player game to be able to do 2 actions back-to-back in sequential. So if she wanted to guarantee that she could do 2 actions back-to-back, she should probably bid 1 and 3. Then she's bidding a total of 4, but she's guaranteed there's no way I can slip in. If she goes this way, I could then come in, bid 0, and break up the flow. So what does she want to do? Does she want to bid a little bit higher to guarantee she gets back-to-back actions? No, she's going to go super cheap. She's only going to pay $1 to get those 2 actions. Right, so here goes a 5, and she gets 1, 2, 3, 4 in change. Alrighty, and now I've got my last bid, and so I've got a choice. If I pay 3, because that's as far as Jen went up, I could get 2 actions in a row, and then she could get 2 actions in a row. Or there's no reason to go 5, 8, or 18. My other option is I could bid 0, which I would push her down, and I would now break up the flow. I do 1, Jen would do 1, I do 1, Jen would do 1. So either I got to pay $3, and I've already paid a lot of money, so that I could get 2 actions back to back, or I could break Jen up. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break Jen up so that she does not get the advantage of having 2 actions back to back. Because if I want that, I'd have to pay for it, so I'm not going to let her have it basically for free. Okay, we're done. That's the first thing that happens every round. We bid for turn order. And of course with more players it's quite a bit simpler because everybody only has 1 marker. But with 2 players there's a little bit more thinking that goes into it, as you just saw. Now on to player actions. We're gonna each of us do a basically a 4-step turn. I'm gonna do one, and then Jen's gonna do a 4-step turn. I'm gonna do a 4-step turn. Jen's gonna do a 4-step turn, and then the round will be over. Those 4 steps. First of all, we move our turn marker, and I'll do that, which basically means I will take this over here, and because not only do I get first dibs here, but because I bid so high, I will also have the first bid for turn order in the second round. So I've done that, moved my turn marker. Now I got to move meeples. This is the core of the game. I have to pick one of these tiles. What is it? 30 tiles. Pick all the tribesmen on that tile, and then move those tribesmen as a group, dropping one of them off from tile to tile until that little group of 3, or it could be 4, it could be 2, there'll be variable amounts over the course of the game, until I run out of guys. And wherever I end up, I activate that tile. And now remember, I was drawn like a moth to a flame, like a genie to a bottle, to get these 3 guys over here. So what I want to do is, I want to pick up 3, because every space has 3 guys. I want to pick up 3 guys, and I want to move them 1, 2, 3 spaces so I end on this tile, so I can check for tile control and do the tribe action here. So Which one am I going to do? I mean, I could grab, I could grab any, but really what I want to do is grab one that's 3 spaces away. So like I could grab this over here, and that's 1, 2, 3. Or I could grab this one, which is 1, 2, 3. Or I could grab this one, which is 1, 2, 3. And in making this, now this one would be no good because then I could go 1, 2, oh no, actually I can even go this one, 1, 2, 3. So I got a lot of options for which one of these I want to grab. And I have to be thinking about the future because whichever one I grab is going to leave a tile wide open and is going to change the composition of other tiles that are nearby. Let's see. I think, Okay, I'm going to grab this group up here. And so now, I've done the first thing. I'm moving meeples. So, first of all, I grab meeples and then I start moving them. So, I want to move over to this thing, so I will have to move 1, 2, 3 spaces, and every step of the way, I have to drop off one of these guys. So, I will drop off a yellow guy here, and then another yellow guy here, and then I will end up where I want to be by dropping a white guy, an elder. They're all listed here. The whites are elders, Viziers, that's yellow, merchants green, builders blue, assassins red. So, I dropped off a Vizier here, and I dropped off an elder there. Now, there is a rule. The primary rule about picking up a group, moving and dropping off is the final tile you land on, the meeple, the color of the meeple you put on that space has to match other meeples of that space. So for instance, I could not say pick up this group and go 1, 2, actually, where's an example of what I could not do? I could not pick up, anyway, it doesn't matter. Basically, I did this right because there were 2 yellows here, so I picked them up, dropped a yellow here, dropped a yellow here, dropped a white here. I could not have done it such that I dropped a white here and dropped a yellow here because I had to end dropping a white because there were other whites there, other elders there. So I've done that. Now, once you have done your move, you look at the space, and the color of meeple you dropped on the last space, you grab every meeple. Because I have reunited this elder who is way up here with all these other elders who were already here. They're all so happy to be reunited, they will join me. So I take them off the board. Now, just as an example, if, say, this is how it'd been to start, and there were only 2 meeples, 2 elders there, and I'd gone like this, I'd pick up my 3, I'd drop a yellow, I'd drop a yellow, I'd drop a white, and I would just, these elders were so happy, I would take the 3 elders away, but I would leave the merchant behind. But that's not the way it was. There were 3 elders there, so I got a big sweep. I just picked up 4 elders who have joined my cause because they're all happy to be reunited. Now, that's very, very cool, but we're not done yet. Now, it's nice. Elders, every elder you have at the end of the game is worth 2 points. So I just picked up 8 points. Remember, I paid 12 points to get first dibs on this, so I've almost broken even. I just picked up 8 points. But also, elders are useful. I can sacrifice elders to the demons so that I can get a demon on my side. So elders have multiple uses. But I'm not done yet. So anyway, so I've moved my meeples. Make sure to drop your last meeple on a tile that has meeples of the same color. I did that. Next up, check for tile control. Remove all meeples of the same color, and if that tile is now empty, which it is, because I've completely cleared this tile out, I can now take control of this tile by putting one of my pink camels. Now that camel is never going to move. I have claimed this, and so for myself, I have claimed 12 points at the end of the game, plus the 8 points I just got for these 4 elders. But I'm not done yet. Let's see. Next up, after I check for tile control, which I gained, and again, if this had been a little bit different, if there had been 2 and 1, and I dropped the elder off, I'd only take 3, and since there was 1 left, 1 behind, I would not get to take control. But since I did completely clear the area out, that's why it was so exciting. To have 3 on a space right at the beginning of the game guarantees that you were going to be able to claim a tile right from the get-go. There'd be no way I could claim this tile because if I took out these elders, there'd still be a merchant. If I took out the merchant, there'd still be elders. So that was really, really nice. So I have checked for tile control, I've claimed it, and I'll score those 12 points at the end of the game. Next up, do the tribe's action. So whatever I pulled off the board, I get to do that action. Although in the case of elders, the action is put them in front of you because you'll score points later. So I basically just claim them. Other guy, if I had pulled assassins off the board, I would now assassinate somebody. If I had pulled merchants off the board, I would start getting, various commodities. But anyway, I pulled elders off, so they have just joined me. That was the do the tribe action. And now finally, at the end, do the tile action. Regardless of whether I take control of that tile or not, I must do the action. And so, okay, I have to do the action if it's got these red arrows. But I'm on a sacred place, which means I have an option if I want to do the action. But you bet I do. The action I can do, because I've activated this tile, is I can either sacrifice one elder and a slave, or 2 elders to basically get a genie on my side. And I'm going to do that. I am now giving up 4 points, because remember, each one of these is worth 2 at the end of the game. I'm giving up 4, I'm sacrificing them to the evil genies, and now one of them is going to join my cause. I can pick any of these 3. Let's see, now first of all, these genies, they're worth points in the game. So this one's worth the most. It's worth 8 points, 4 points, and 6 points. So since this is worth the fewest points, it's the most powerful ability. And this ability is, basically anytime I want, I can, even if I don't have a tile to activate, I can sacrifice elders to get more genies on my side. So that's really cool. But you know what? I think I'm going to take the big point one. I'm going to take Harvine, this lovely lady, I think, who is worth 8 points at the end of the game. And its special power is, for every oasis I claim, I will get, and normally oases are worth 3 points at the end of the game, but for me, they will be worth 5 points. So I've just given myself a special power for the rest of the game, and I've given myself a target. I want to take over oases, which are, kind of scattered hither and yon. Oases are implicitly more valuable for me because I've got this genie on my side. So that was me doing the tile action. And you can see there's several different tiles I could have done, but I did the sacred places where I could pay either 2 elders or 1, blah, blah, blah. And all right, so now, the last thing I'm going to do on my turn, and this is the first of 4 turns are going to happen this round, is if I had any merchandise, I could sell it to make money so that I would have enough money to engage in next round's auction. Now I got plenty of money and I have no merchandise, so I'm going to skip this because I have no merchandise I could sell. Normally though, you do not want to do this unless you're really desperate for cash. And now the last thing I do on my turn is I won't do cleanup until all 4 turns have happened. So anyway, that was my turn. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. Now, moving on, Jen gets to take a turn. She was next, so she goes over here. Now, what steps is she going to do? She's, marked it's to her turn. Now, she's going to move meeples as well. And see, it's interesting. Often, when somebody makes a move, say I'd come over here and I'd taken out these guys and left this green one behind, I would have then set it up so that Jen could move over here, get this green, and claim a tile. But because I was lucky and got this one, I didn't leave anything easy for Jen to claim. So she's got to decide what she wants to do. Let's see. Now, she tried to save herself a lot of money. I think she's just going to try and make as much money as possible. I think that means she's going to try and go for builders, which basically could score her a lot of money right now. That's the blue. She wants to pull some blue meeples off the board. And right now, here's some different groups of 2 blues in these, so I think she's going to try and grab one of those. Let's see, and looking at them, so that would be that, no, okay, yes. Okay, all right, I think I know which one she's going to do. She is going to try to end on this space. So she's got to pick up a group of people, move them around, and ensure that when she does it, the last meeple she places is a blue one here, so she can claim these 2 blue meeples, right? So if she wanted, would this one work? It would be 1, no, but she could do this one over here, and that would be 1, 2, 3. She could do, that's kind of dangerous. Yeah, I think so. I think she's going to do this one. So she'll go 1, 2, and you can see she's dropping more stuff off along the way. 3, and so she has arrived in this tile. And now, so she's moved her markers, and she's moved meeples. Now, she removes all meeples of the same color. She's going to take all these blues. They're so happy to be reunited. They said, well, we'll come with you, nice blue lady. Nice blue camel lady. So she's pulled them off. She checks for tile control. Unfortunately, there are still 2 meeples on this tile, so Jen does not get to take control of this tile. And it's interesting, that's why Jen chose this one. She chose one that would leave 2 meeples behind because she knows I'm next. If she had chosen this one and left 1 meeple behind, then it would be really easy for me to move in here and claim control of the tile. So she made a move to try to ensure I was not going to get control of the tile. So anyway, so she checked for control. She didn't get it because she left other tribesmen behind. Now she does the tribe action. The blues. She pulled 3 blues, so she is going to do the builder action. Put your builders in the bag, because they're not, the elders, you get to keep them. The builders, they go away. Put them in the bag and score number of builders plus slave cards times number of blue value tiles surrounding your final tile, including that tile if blue valued. Okay, so now what that means is, we look at the tiles she landed on. These are her 3 traders. These guys are builders. These guys are going to engage in building activities. So you look at every connected blue, including diagonals. From this tile, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 blue tiles touching or part of this tile. So Jen takes her 3 builders times 5 blue tiles. So that's 15. Jen just scored 15 points. 1, 2, 3. $15 or 15 points if she still has that money at the end of the game. So that was Jen's action. She did the tribe action. So she just made 15 points just like that. And more importantly, she didn't leave me an easy tile claim, which is very, okay. So then do the tiles action. Now Jen has the option to do the action if she wants. Even though she didn't claim this tile, she could do this action. And the action of this tile is spend $3 to get one of the first 3 commodities. I think Jen's going to do that. She's going to spend $3. Here's a 5, gets 2 changed. And this is optional. She doesn't have to use the market, but she's going to do it. So she paid $3, and she can take one of the first 3 commodities. And I believe she will take this ivory because ivory is rare. You can see there are only 2 ivories, the little icon, in this entire deck. Jen just got one of the only 2 ivories in the game. So that was very much worth it. Very much worth spending. She lost 3 points, but she got a super rare ivory commodity. Right. So that was her doing the tiles action. And then if she needed money, she could sell this to get some money. But selling 1 unique card is only worth 1. See, it's not a set collection. What's the opposite of a set collection? You're trying to collect sweets. You want to get difference. And that's why it's so important to get rare stuff. If Jen had 5 completely different cards, she could sell them for $21 or 21 points. If you can get 9, if you get 1 of each type of commodity in the game, you can get $60 for that. That is huge. So Jen, by getting one of the 2 rarest commodities in the game, is on her way to scoring a big sweep if she can get 1 of each type of thing. But anyway, so that was Jen's turn. So she just took a turn, moved stuff over here, activated the tile, activated the tribes because they were so happy. She scored a lot of money from building, and then activated the tile, which was this was a marketplace, and so she got some stuff. Her turn is over. Now it is my turn again. And I got to look at the board, and Jen did not leave me a nice and neat little place where I could now move in and claim a tile. So now I got to start thinking about what do I want to do? And I got to be also thinking about whatever I do, if I do it, I might end up giving Jen an opportunity. Now I know I want to get oases because I've got my bonus. So maybe I want to focus on oases, but here's the problem. If I go for this oasis and maybe I take these merchants, which would be great, I leave this blue alone, and then Jen might claim the oasis tile. I don't want that to happen. I need to claim that oasis tile for this genie to be any good. But that's a couple of turns. There's going to be 2 more turns before this round is over, but I think you kind of get the basic raw mechanisms of what you have to think about, how every turn you make very much strongly affects what other players do. You can see there are now tiles where there are 4 dudes, and you're going to make 4 moves out of these tiles, etc., etc. If you'd like to watch some more, you can hit the button that's on screen or follow the show notes and go to my extended play, where I will obviously finish this round and probably play through a few more so you can see the other actions. You can see assassins, and you can see merchants, and you can see viziers, and all the other stuff. So if you want, hit the button that's on screen or follow the show notes or go to the final thoughts. Your choice in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.